Welcome to Geek on Film with your host, Robbie Holmes. Welcome to episode 13 of season 3 of Geek on Film. This week I'm going to talk about three relatively new releases because I got to clear them off the plate so I could get ready for upcoming podcasts. So not a lot of in-between things. I'm just going to talk about three bigger films, the main review of Sinners, and then we're going to talk about two other films that I've seen, both A24 releases. So let's start with The Legend of Ochi. Our friends at IMDb have this as, in a remote village on the island of Carpathia, a shy girl is raised to fear an elusive animal species known as Ochi. But when she discovers a wounded baby Ochi has been left behind, she escapes on a quest to bring him home. I have this as, on my Letterboxd, 2.5 stars. This movie was a miss for me. I really wanted to like it, but from the creature going from looking great to looking poor in ultra-fast movement in the opening 10 minutes, to the sweeping music that makes the audience think the scene is more poignant and moving and deep than it is. Baby Ochi is cute, and Defoe tries to Defoe it up, but in general, it just wasn't a success for me as a movie. I think there was a lot of ambition. I think that Isaiah Saxton, the writer-director, is someone I would keep an eye on. I think the amount of practical creature effects in this is really astounding. I just didn't love the final outcome. I think everybody here does great work. I think the reality is Helena Zengel as Yuri is fantastic. You've got William Dafoe as Maxim. You've got Emily Watson as Dasha, Finn Wolfhard as Petro, but he doesn't have an awful lot to do in this movie. And then there's a bunch of other kids, mostly boys, that are part of the Ochi, military attack squad. I will say I really enjoyed moments of this movie. There were pieces of it that felt very moving. It felt a little bit like E.T. It has its moments of it being a little bit more like a fable. But in the end, it is a movie I would say was a miss from what I was expecting. Now, maybe I made a bad assessment of what we were getting in this film, but I was surprised to walk away and not really have a huge amount of positive things to say. I will say you should check it out. I want A24 to make more films like this. I want to believe in more auteurs and give them their first shots. And I'm so excited that A24 has done that in this case. So give it a chance. It's likely going to be on streaming pretty soon. I think eventually it'll end up on Max because it's an A24 film and they have a deal with A24. So if you can see it in a theater, it'll be on PVOD pretty soon. And then after that on Max. Next up for me, we're going to talk about Warfare. Our friends at IMDb have this as a platoon of Navy SEALs embark on a dangerous mission in Ramadi, Iraq, with the chaos and brotherhood of war retold through their memories of the event. This is written by Ray Mendoza and Alex Garland, and it is directed by Alex Garland and Ray Mendoza. I have it as 4 stars with a heart. Overall, I am still pretty shaken, moved, impressed with the technical aspects of this film. The sound, production design, editing, and directing are so good, but the film only works because of this selfless, deeply moving, and impact-filled acting of the whole cast. I saw this over at AMC. I was able to use my A24 club for both this and The Legend of Ochi. Still a pretty good deal. A24, I'd love for you to sponsor me. This movie's cast is DeFaro Wanate, who plays Ray. You've got Will Poulter playing Eric, Cosmo Jarvis playing Elliot, Joseph Quinn playing Sam, Aaron McKenzie playing Kelly, Alex Brockdorf playing Mikey, Finn Bennett playing John, Evan Holtzman playing Brock, Michael Gandolfini playing Lieutenant McDonald, Joe McCauley playing Mo, Laurie Duncan playing Pete, Jack Lambert playing Ted, Aaron Deakins playing Bob, Henrik Zaga playing Aaron, Kit Connor playing Tommy, Noah Centino playing Brian, Taylor John Smith playing Frank, and Aiden Bradley playing Sergeant Lararis. This is what's listed in the top cast. I will say this movie is extremely American military focused. The whole perspective is of the perspective of this battalion, including the writer director Ray Mendoza. I will say I was truly astounded by this movie. I wouldn't say I loved it. I would say I was really impressed. I think this movie is sort of a really good who's who of everyone who is going to be a big deal or is already a big deal in Hollywood who happens to be a male presenting actor. Will Poulter is fantastic in this. I think DeFaro and Cosmo Jarvis, Joseph Quinn. There's so many good little moments in this movie, and I think you really can't you can't do this movie justice without seeing it in a theater, which is a little sad because I know it's about to leave theaters. It's going to get harder and harder to see, and I think that I really wanted to get this review out earlier because I felt like it was an important aspect of this movie. The sound is so blistering and painful and overwhelming, and the amount of sheer fatigue that I walked away from the theater feeling, and how it was shot. I can only imagine what it is like to be in an actual war zone. I think I think that is the point of the film. I know that the story is that there is a person that was part of this group that does not remember anything that happened that day. So they are telling the story for one last time so that he knows what happened. I think the reason that Alex Garland wanted to take this on is to remind us and show us what it is like to actually um, be in the middle of a war zone and to be the people who are inflicting the pain and also having the pain inflicted upon them. I think the film feels very. It tries really hard, I think, not to make a choice about who is right or wrong in this moment. I think that the film, in general, after much musing about it on my end, is telling on itself. It opens with us seeing American military men playfully watching a video on the internet before they go out on their tour, and then they choose a home randomly and they terrorize the family that's in that house by taking it over. And when spoilers, when the movie is over, we see everyone come out of their homes, both the locals and the militia folks and anybody who they would be fighting with, and there's no war, there's no battle, there's just destruction, there's blood, there's even if they were not trying to choose a side and tell us what they were feeling. I feel like the way the movie starts and ends really does tell you how the filmmakers feel about this experience. It's a really complicated movie. I think the more people that see it, the more complications will happen. The more that people will think about it, the more that people will talk about it. It feels like a movie that is made to watch and then to go and have a drink afterwards, and then to fight about it in 6 months when you've really hunkered down and feel what you feel about it. It's powerful. And I mean, Alex Garland is an amazing director. So him and Ray Mendoza created something that feels real and powerful and moving and scary and off-putting and yeah, everything, every emotion under the sun. So, all right, I'm going to leave that there. We'll jump over to the final review, which is the main review this week of Sinners. Our friends over at IMDb have this as trying to leave their troubled lives behind. Twin brothers return to their hometown to start again, only to discover that an even greater evil is waiting to welcome them back. I have this as 4 stars and a heart. I really enjoyed this film. Ryan Coogler is a true auteur and should never be underestimated. This film is the best Michael B. Jordan has ever been on a screen. The ambiance, cinematography, production design, and use of music all add to the really good film, but a super successful R-rated, sexy, dark, and unique horror movie with a message and historical overtones. I was really impressed. So this movie was written and directed by Ryan Coogler, and it stars Miles Canton as Sammy Moore, the preacher's son, Saul Williams, Jedediah, the preacher, Adrienne Ward Hammond as Ruthie, Jack O'Connell as Remick, who is fantastic. There's going to be no ability for me to talk about this movie without spoilers. So you've been warned. Remick is playing the vampire, who's the leader of the vampire group. Uh, Tanaje L. Jackson is playing Beatrice. Michael B. Jordan is playing both Smoke and Stack. If you have not seen the trailers, he plays twins that are almost perfectly like player A and player B coded. If you played video games, their clothing is slightly different. One is wearing red, one is wearing blue. It feels very much like a shorthand for us to know who we are starting with. And then he gives each of them their backstories, their facial expressions, their individual ticks. It's really impressive. We can go down the entire list. Let me make sure I pick out the people who I think are big and important characters. You have Lee Jun Lee playing Grace Chow, Delroy Lindo playing Delta Slim, Jamie Lawson playing Perline, Haley Seinfeld playing Mary. Let's see, Wunmi Masako playing Annie, uh, Emoni Ellison playing Tyrese. Who else do we need to mention here? Do, 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 do. Where is Cornbread? Yeah, Omar Benson Miller is playing Cornbread. This movie is fantastic. It is really, it feels like two films. It opens, and the first hour is really about these twins who have gone off to war, that have gone to Chicago, that have, there's an allusion to the fact they were running with Capone, and they decided to come home to Mississippi to deal with the devils they know, and they want to open a juke joint, and they buy this juke joint off of a man who he assumes is the leader of the local clan, and that is David Maldonado playing Hogwood. And the brothers buy this place. They reach out to Asian market folks in town that they've been working with, obviously in the past. There's a lot of relationships that are going on here. You've got Yao played by Bo Chow, and you've got Lee Jun Lee playing Grace Chow, and they are providing the food, they're providing the signage, they're also working the juke joint with the guys. So there are three really distinct love stories that are actually happening in this movie. You've got Perline and Sammy, which actually unfolds the night of these adventures. You have Smoke and Annie, who is absolutely phenomenal and played by Wunmi Musaku. That is the true love story and in my opinion, the heart and crux of this movie. And then you have the relationship between Stack and Mary, and that is Haley Seinfeld's Mary and Stack, and they are all unique and all add context and layers to what's going on in this movie. So the first half of the movie really does feel like it could have just been a historical piece set in the South, set in Mississippi, in this time period of these twins, and it would have been a great movie if you just cut off the aspect of the clan comes back and chaos ensues. And then about halfway through this movie, you get the appearance of the three white folks that walk up singing to the juke joint. And that is really unbelievable, to be honest. You have three vampires that just appear out of nowhere. They are led by Jack O'Connell playing Remick. They are trying to get into the juke joint. The reason they are drawn to the juke joint is Sammy is playing the guitar so well that he seems to be transcending space and time and connecting to history and the future. And his music is this conduit that allows a portal to be opened throughout space and time. And it seems like Remick wants to have that power. Remick, and as the leader of the vampires, seems to be sort of the head of a hive mind. He gets everybody's information. He knows everything about everyone, which is proven later in some of the ways that characters that are now vampires react. So he would like to see his relatives. He wants to see his ancestors. He wants to see the people he left behind. Truly powerful. The movie is a really good vampire movie in the middle. You get how do transitions happen, who becomes a vampire. We send Mary out to talk to them because there's a possibility of Remick alludes to the fact they have money to spend. They just want to have a good time. and Mary gets turned, and then chaos ensues, and then Mary turns Stack, and it just keeps going. I will say I really enjoyed this movie. I saw it at my local Alamo Draft House. I saw it in what they call the Big Show, so high end Dolby. It felt like it was in sort of the Panavision 70 perspective. It was a very wide screen, was the projected version that I saw. It is not listed as Panavision 70, but I do think that is the ratio that I was able to see it in. And I will say it is a movie you should see on the biggest format you can with the best sound that you can. And that is what this movie deserves. And we've basically dubbed a new auteur that should be able to choose what he works on, create what he wants to create. And we should back him. We should go see his movies in theaters. The studio should give him what he wants when he comes to the table. Ryan Coogler is all of that. And if you listen to the interviews he gives and you listen to how he talks about this film, you should go watch the Kodak video on, if you go to YouTube and look for Ryan Coogler on the Kodak channel, he breaks down all the different formats that this movie was shot in and why. It's like taking a film studies 301 class talking about formats. It is really unbelievable. And his ability to break things down and make them approachable, describing exactly why and what is going on. He's a national treasure. We should be very thankful that we have a Ryan Coogler who gave up his football career and decided to go and become a filmmaker, because we and I will go see anything he makes. And I think we should be lucky enough that he makes more films. The fact that he has made 5 films under the age of 40 that have all been critical successes and all been financial successes. And the fact that there was like less than 5% drop off from weekend 1 to weekend 2 of Sinners is true word of mouth keeping that film. The problem is this week it is leaving IMAX because Thunderbolts is crashing in. So you should see this movie. You should see it in any format you can, but the biggest and baddest you can, the best sound you can get your hands on. You deserve it. I've already pre-ordered the 4K Steelbook. I'm very, very in the bag for this movie. And I really hope that the next thing that Ryan Coogler works on is given as much leeway as he would like to take. He is in he's in a rarefied era at this point. He's in the Christopher Nolan, the Jordan Peele, the Greta Gerwig space that he should be given all the chips that he wants to play with. So I will say, go see this. Thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to hearing your responses to this podcast. Please rate and review on Apple Podcast or Spotify. It's really helpful. If you're listening to this on YouTube, or you didn't know you could listen to this on YouTube, Geek on Film is now on YouTube. Please subscribe there, rate and review, comment. I look forward to all the interactions on any one of these special individual unique paths that you can talk to me. Geekonfilm.com, Robbie the Geek everywhere. Feel free to message me. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I look forward to coming back and talking to you again in probably a couple of days when I see Thunderbolts. I am going to see it tomorrow morning at 11. So until then, go see this movie. Go see all these movies. Go see lots of movies. Movies are amazing. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. This has been a Geek on Film podcast. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.